So you might be wondering what exactly your range is so that you can sing songs that fit your range and your voice type. Well, in this episode, I've got you covered with specific exercises to figure out your range and sweet spot of your voice so that you know what types of songs can fit your voice. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I'm helping passionate singers just like yourself become the best versions of themselves through singing. And in these episodes, you're going to get practical tools, techniques, and exercises and insights to really help you up-level your singing skills. So let's look at what it actually takes to figure out your vocal range. Now, in order to truly get this, we need to understand some common mistakes that many beginner singers tend to make. And the first one is that many beginner singers, they think that their range decides what song that you can sing instead of the other way around. And we're going to talk about that. Also, many beginner singers, they believe that their range defines what type of singer that they are and that it has limits. For example, I have a choir, and oftentimes when a new singer starts, they say, oh, I'm an alto, so I cannot sing high notes. That is something that I've heard so many times. And this label of being an alto or being a soprano and then not being able to sing the low notes, that label oftentimes limits people. Once you're aware that these are mistakes and misconceptions that oftentimes arise for many beginner singers, we can actually start to shift those. And that's when we get into the world of what I like to call the trained singer. And the trained singer knows that it's not your range that dictates what kinds of songs that you can sing. It's you that chooses the type of songs that you want to be able to sing and work on. And then you can work on the vocal skills that are needed, for example, to expand your range to help you sing that song. So it's the other way around. Does that make sense? Many people think, oh, this is my voice, so here's a song that fits my voice. And I'm saying, you want to sing that song? Okay, let's make your voice fit that song. And that's where using the right techniques can really help you. Also, trained singers, they're not defined by any labels that define what they can or cannot sing. Trained singers know that anything is possible. So with that in the back of your mind, let's dive into these exercises. My biggest suggestion before you're doing these exercises is to do those with a voice that has been warmed up. You're going to get way more benefit by doing these exercises on a warm voice than on a cold voice. And you'll notice that the results will be different. So please, if you have not warmed up your voice, go do that first and then come back to this episode. So I'm going to assume that you've done that. Let's start with our first exercise, which is all about finding the lowest bottom note of your range. So here's our first exercise. We are going to do a simple scale, and you're going to see a note on the screen that will indicate the lowest note. If you can sing that note, great, let's move on to the next one. At one point, you might stop singing because there's no more sound coming out. That is where your lowest note is. So watch the screen to know what your lowest note is. If you're listening to this on the podcast and you don't have a visual, my invitation would be to go over to our YouTube channel to do this exercise with a visual so that you can see where we are in the music. Unless you have absolute hearing and you can figure that out by yourself. Okay, so the first exercise, very simple. Ma, let's keep it going. Ma, 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 ma. You keep going. Keep going. I'm stopping to sing so that you can hear your voice. Keep going. And if you cannot go, that's fine. You just stop. Last one. Maybe one more. Nice. So depending on where your voice cut off, hopefully you've identified now with the help of the notes you saw on the screen what your lowest note is. That being said, now that we have clarity on what the lowest note is, let's go and have a look at higher up in your range. Same thing with this exercise. The first few I'm going to sing along with you so that you know where we're going. At one point, I'm going to stop so that you can listen to your own voice. And same thing applies here as well. We're going to put the highest note on the screen so that you can see visually what that highest note is. And once you feel that you're not getting higher than that, you've identified your highest note in your range. Okay, so let's do that together. This exercise is super easy. We're doing on an E or any other vowel that fits your voice best. For mine, that would be an E. Even oo is easier for you to get into the higher notes. That's fine as well. We're gonna do E or ooh, whatever fits your voice. Okay, here we go. And ooh. An E. 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 Keep going without me. Beautiful. Yes. Nice. Keep it going. Beautiful. Last one. All right. I know I went into the extremes there. But hopefully, again, you identified what your top note is by looking at the note on the screen. And then whenever there's no more sound coming out or it's hard for you to get the pitch, that is the note that is the top of your range. So far we have the bottom part of your range and we have the top part of your range. That actually doesn't tell me much. Yes, it tells you this is your lowest note, this is your highest note, and then depending on what songs you want to sing, you can look at, okay, this song, the lowest note in this song is this one, and then the highest note in this song is that one. Does that fit into my range? That is one approach. I don't believe that's the most effective approach, but we'll talk about that. Now, if this was of value for you so far, I have a big invitation for you to subscribe to this channel so that you get notified of other upcoming episodes like this one that will come your way. So let's continue because the main thing is actually still coming up, which is finding the sweet spot of your voice. And this is where we always work from within the Singing Insiders, which again is my community for singers, where I help singers become and up-level their singing skills. It's all about how does your voice feels and sounds like. And when you find those sweet spots in your voice, you can start to find or recreate or find that same sweet spot in songs. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Once you have clarity on the sweet spot within your voice, you can find songs that align with that sweet spot. Or, and now this is getting into a whole different conversation, you can make a song fit your sweet spot by changing the key of the song. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into that because that's a whole other can of worms we're opening up. But the idea here is that now we're going to find the sweet spot of your voice. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to sing a little exercise, and your action item is to listen to your voice and to feel how it feels like to sing in that range, in that register. What we're looking for is a place in your voice where it feels and sounds amazing. That is your sweet spot. And your sweet spot might be, a range of a few notes. Maybe it's a tone and a half, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Maybe you have multiple sweet spots. Maybe you only have one. That depends from voice to voice. For example, I know that my sweet spot lies around here. That is my sweet spot. I also have a sweet spot around here. In the lower part of my range. That is where it sounds full and I'm feeling good when I'm singing there. And here I'm feeling free in my mixed voice, for example. So we're trying to figure out what is that for you. Okay, so let's do the exercise. For this exercise, we're going to do it a little bit different than the previous ones. The exercise goes like this. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la. La 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 la. That is something you might recognize from a Simon and Garfunkel song. Anyway, that's the exercise. If you cannot sing along to this exercise, go back in the video, go back and re-listen to it and make sure that you can sing along to this. Now, as you can hear, in this exercise, there is one note that is the most prevailing one, which is this one, the root note. La la la. La 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 la. There it is again. And then we're ending on that note as well. That is the one we're going to put on screen in combination with the highest note in this sentence. La 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 la. So we got a higher one. We're going to put that one on the screen as well, because then you have the range of your potential sweet spots, because then you have the lowest note and the highest note. And again, you might have different sweet spots. So that's really up to you to assess. So I'm going to repeat myself. 2 notes, a bottom one, a top one. And how we identify a sweet spot is a place in your voice that feels amazing and that sounds amazing. Okay? So let's do that together. Also here, I'm going to sing the few times along, and then I'm going to let you sing by yourself so that you can clearly hear your own voice instead of having to sing along with me. Let's do it. And la la la, la 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 la. Let's keep going. La la la. La 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 la. Beautiful. La 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 la. Keep going without me. Beautiful. That deserves a virtual high five. Well done. So hopefully by now you identified maybe one or more sweet spots in your voice. Having clarity on that will help you find songs that sing in that sweet spot. Or, as I said before, you can make a song fit your sweet spot by changing the key of a song. Now, hopefully, you can see that this is not about talent, it's about training your voice. And as I said before, it's not necessarily finding a song that fits your voice, but making your voice fit the song. And you can do that by learning the right techniques. Technique is one part, because that is knowing how to control and use your voice. However, there is also a very important aspect that we haven't covered yet, which is the person behind the voice, which is you. You're the one driving your voice, using your voice. It's like driving a car. When a car is being driven, how well the car is being driven depends on the person that sits in the car, the driver. And if the driver is insecure and doesn't know his way, the car will not drive as well as when a driver was hyper-focused and know where it's going, right? So in an upcoming training of mine that is coming up, and I'll link to the training in the description here down below, we're continuing this conversation and we're zooming into the blueprint, the step-by-step process that you need to go through to experience that vocal freedom, which goes beyond just vocal technique, what we covered here today. So I really want to continue that conversation, you and me, in that vocal freedom method training coming up. So I will link to that in the description down below, and your homework is to go get registered for that. Besides that, I really want to thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time here together. I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to see you here again next week. Bye.